The stars looked different from inside the Vilthon warship. Commander Vextar stood on the bridge watching the blue planet grow larger on his screen. Earth, the third planet from a yellow star. His mission was simple: study the humans and report back to the Empire. Soon the great Vilthon fleet would come to take this world. "Commander, we are now in position," said Scout Captain Corveth. His purple skin was marked with the scars of many battles. He had fought across 12 star systems for the Empire. "The humans cannot see us. Our ships are invisible to their primitive sensors." Vextar nodded. The Empire had sent 3 of their best scout ships. Each one was equipped with the finest cloaking technology. The humans would never know they were being watched. According to their intelligence reports, humans were a weak species. They still used metal bullets and chemical explosives. Their fastest ships could barely leave their own atmosphere. "Begin scanning their military bases," Vextar ordered. "I want to know everything about their weapons and soldiers." The scout ships moved silently through space. They were small and fast, built for watching enemies without being seen. Inside the ships, alien warriors studied their screens. They saw human cities, roads, and buildings. Everything looked so primitive to their advanced eyes. Scout leader Thexion piloted the second ship. He had been a scout for 20 years. He knew how to read enemy strength just by looking at their positions. As he flew over a large human military base, he laughed. "Look at these humans," he said to his crew. "They have metal vehicles that roll on wheels. Their flying machines use chemical fuel. We destroyed civilizations like this 100 years ago." The aliens watched human soldiers training with their weapons. The humans carried rifles that shot metal bullets. They drove tanks that moved slowly across the ground. Their aircraft were loud and clumsy compared to Vilthon technology. "Their weapons are so old," said one scout. "Our plasma rifles can cut through their armor like paper. Our energy shields will stop all their bullets." Meanwhile, on Earth, General Hyunwoo sat in his office at Pacific Command. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. He had served in the military for 30 years. Today felt different somehow. His instincts told him something was wrong. Colonel So-min entered his office with a tablet in her hands. She was one of his best officers. Her reports were always accurate and detailed. "General, we have some strange readings from our deep space monitors," she said. "There are unusual energy patterns near the outer planets." Hyunwoo looked at the data on her tablet. The numbers meant nothing to most people, but he understood them. Something was out there, something that did not belong. "Could it be solar activity?" he asked. "The science team says no," So-min replied. "The patterns are too regular, too organized." Captain Jinho was in charge of space monitoring. He had been tracking these signals for 3 days. The patterns appeared and disappeared like ghosts. Sometimes the readings were strong. Sometimes they vanished completely. "General, I think we should increase our alert level," Jinho suggested during the morning briefing. "These readings are not natural," but the other officers disagreed. Earth had never been visited by aliens before. The strange signals were probably just equipment problems or space debris. There was no reason to worry the public or waste resources on false alarms. High above Earth, the Vilthon scouts continued their work. They photographed human military bases from every angle. They recorded the speed and movement of human vehicles. They counted soldiers and weapons. Everything they saw confirmed their reports. Humans were weak and backward. "Their largest weapons are chemical explosives," reported Scout Captain Corveth. "We have personal shields that can stop such primitive attacks. Their vehicles move like children's toys compared to our war machines." The scouts felt confident and superior. The Vilthon Empire had conquered 47 worlds. Most civilizations surrendered after seeing just one Vilthon battlecruiser. Humans would be no different. They would fall quickly when the real invasion began. "How many humans live on this planet?" asked Vextar. "About 8 billion, answered a data specialist. "But most are civilians. Their military forces are small and scattered across many nations. They even fight wars against each other instead of working together." This news pleased Vextar greatly. Divided enemies were always easier to defeat. The humans could not unite their forces effectively. They wasted resources fighting amongst themselves, while the real threat approached from space. The aliens studied human communication networks. They listened to radio signals and watched television broadcasts. Most of the content was entertainment or commercial advertising. The humans seemed more interested in games and shopping than preparing for war. "They live in luxury and comfort," observed one scout. "They have no idea what real conflict looks like." Our warriors train every day for battle. These humans play games and watch stories on screens. Back on Earth, General Hyunwoo could not shake his feeling of unease. He had survived many battles by trusting his instincts. Something was watching them. Something dangerous was planning to strike. He called a private meeting with his most trusted officers. They gathered in a secure room deep underground. No electronic devices were allowed inside. This conversation would not be recorded or monitored. I want increased patrols around all major installations, Hyunwoo ordered. Double the watch shifts. Check all equipment and weapon systems. Sir, is there a specific threat? Asked Colonel Somin. Not yet, Hyunwoo replied. But I have learned to prepare for trouble before it arrives. Alert our allies. Tell them to watch their skies more carefully. The alien scouts spent days mapping human defenses. They identified key targets for the coming invasion. Military bases, government buildings, communication centers, and power plants were all marked for destruction. The humans had no idea their doom was being planned from orbit. This will be the easiest conquest in Empire history, Thexion reported to his commander. Their defenses are laughable. Our smallest attack ships could destroy their entire fleet. The scouts prepared their final reports. Photos, videos, and detailed analysis of human capabilities would soon reach the Valthon High Command. The Empire's war planners would use this information to design the invasion strategy. But as the scouts watched, they missed many important details. Human military exercises were carefully controlled. Soldiers used standard equipment during training. The most advanced weapons remained hidden in secure facilities. What the aliens saw was only a small portion of human military capability. Captain Jinho noticed something interesting in the latest sensor data. The mysterious energy readings seemed to follow patterns. They appeared over military bases more often than civilian areas. Whatever was out there was watching them just as carefully as they were watching the sky. General, I think we are being observed, Jinho reported. The energy patterns suggest artificial intelligence, possibly ships or probes. Hyunwoo studied the data carefully. His worst fears were being confirmed. Earth was being scouted by unknown forces. The question was whether they came in peace or war. Keep monitoring, he ordered. Say nothing to the media. We need more information before we act. The alien scouts completed their mission and prepared to return to the main fleet. They felt proud of their work. Soon, the Empire would know everything about human weaknesses. The invasion would begin within weeks. As their ships turned away from Earth, the aliens felt confident about the coming battle. They had seen enough to know that humans posed no real threat to the mighty Valthon Empire. This conquest would be quick and easy. But deep in hidden bunkers around the world, human officers watched the departing energy signatures with growing concern. The Watchers had finally revealed themselves. Now it was time to prepare for what might come next. 2 days after the main scout fleet departed, Scout leader Thexion made a terrible mistake. His ship had stayed behind to gather more detailed information about a human coastal military base. The installation looked important, with many buildings and vehicles moving in organized patterns. Move us closer, Thexion ordered his pilot. I want to record their daily routines. The Empire will want to know when their guards change shifts. The small scout ship drifted lower through Earth's atmosphere. Its cloaking device kept it invisible to human eyes and most of their detection equipment. Thexion had done this hundreds of times on other worlds. He felt completely safe. Inside the ship, warning lights suddenly began flashing red. The pilot's hands moved quickly over his controls, but the readings were all wrong. Sir, we have a problem, the pilot announced. The cloaking system is overheating. The atmospheric density is affecting our stealth field. Thexion rushed to check the readings himself. Earth's atmosphere was thicker than their scientists had calculated. The cloaking device was working too hard to keep them hidden. If they did not fix it soon, the system would fail completely. Can you repair it? Thexion demanded. Not while we are flying, sir. We need to land and shut down the engines. But landing was impossible. They were flying over a human military base. Hundreds of human soldiers would see them if they became visible. Thexion made the decision to climb higher into space, where the atmosphere was thinner. That decision saved their lives, but it also doomed the mission. As the scout ship climbed rapidly toward space, its cloaking system finally failed. For 30 seconds, the alien vessel was completely visible to human sensors. Those 30 seconds changed everything. At the coastal base below, Lieutenant Wu Jin was monitoring the radar systems. He had been watching for unusual aircraft all morning, following orders from General Hyun Woo. When the alien ship appeared on his screen, he could not believe his eyes. "Sergeant Hyejin, come look at this," Wu Jin called out. "What kind of aircraft climbs straight up at that speed?" Sergeant Hyejin studied the radar display. The object was moving faster than any human aircraft could fly. Its shape was wrong, too. No wings, no visible engines, but it was accelerating towards space like a rocket. "Alert all stations," Hyejin ordered. "We have an unidentified craft in restricted airspace." Within seconds, alarm sirens began wailing across the base. Fighter jets prepared for immediate takeoff. Air defense missiles locked onto the climbing target. Human military training took over as hundreds of soldiers rushed to their positions. General Hyun-woo received the alert message while eating breakfast. He dropped his coffee cup and ran to the command center. His instincts had been correct. The Watchers had revealed themselves. "Status report," Hyun-woo demanded as he entered the control room. "Unknown aircraft climbing at impossible speed," reported Colonel So-min. "Fighter squadrons are airborne and pursuing." "Jam all communications in the area," Hyun-woo ordered. "I want this kept secret until we know what we are dealing with." High above the base, Thexion watched human aircraft climbing toward his ship. The small fighters were much faster than the aliens had expected. Their intelligence reports said human aircraft were slow and clumsy. These jets were closing the distance quickly. "They are tracking us somehow," the pilot reported. "Even with the cloaking system offline, they should not be able to follow us this accurately." Thexion realized the humans had better technology than the Empire believed. Their sensors could track alien ships even when partially hidden. This was valuable intelligence, but he had to escape first. "Full power to engines," he ordered. "Get us out of their atmosphere." The scout ship accelerated toward space, but the human fighters stayed close behind. Thexion watched his screens with growing alarm. The human pilots were skilled and their aircraft were faster than expected. Captain Jamin led the fighter squadron. He had been trained to intercept unknown aircraft, but nothing had prepared him for this chase. The target was unlike anything he had ever seen. It had no wings, no exhaust trail, and it climbed at angles that should have been impossible. "Base. Control. The target is not human technology," Jamin reported through his radio. "Repeat. This is not human technology." Back at the base, General Hyun-woo felt his blood turn cold. First contact with an alien species, and it was happening during what appeared to be an intelligence-gathering mission. The implications were terrifying. "All units, this is a code black situation," Hyun-woo announced. "Follow the unknown craft but do not fire unless fired upon." But Thexion was panicking. His ship was not built for combat. It was designed for stealth and reconnaissance. The human fighters were too close and too persistent. In his fear and confusion, he made another fatal mistake. "Activate defensive systems," Thexion ordered. "Sir, that will reveal our weapon signatures to their sensors," the pilot warned. "Do it anyway. We need to protect ourselves." The scout ship's energy weapons came online, casting a blue glow around the vessel. The weapons were only meant to disable other scout ships or destroy evidence. They were not designed for attacking military targets, but the human fighters detected the energy buildup immediately. Their sensors registered weapon systems activating on the unknown craft. "Base control, the target is powering weapons," Captain Jamin reported. "Repeat, the target is armed and showing hostile intent." At the base, tension reached a breaking point. An unknown aircraft with alien technology was preparing to fire weapons over a human military installation. General Hyun-woo faced an impossible decision. "All fighters, you are authorized to defend yourselves," he transmitted, "but try to disable, not destroy." Thexion saw the human fighters changing formation. They were preparing to attack his ship. In his panic, he acted on pure instinct. His fingers hit the firing controls. Blue energy bolts shot from the scout ship toward the human fighters. The weapons were not very powerful, but they were accurate. Captain Jamin's fighter was hit in the wing. The aircraft spun out of control and crashed into the ocean below. Two other energy bolts struck buildings at the military base. The alien weapons cut through concrete and steel like they were paper. 3 human soldiers who were running across the courtyard were caught in the blast. They died instantly. Target has fired on our forces, Lieutenant Wu Jin reported. We have casualties on the ground and one fighter down. The scout ship disappeared into space, its engines glowing bright against the black sky. Thexion had escaped, but he had also started a war. General Hyunwoo stared at the casualty reports. 3 soldiers dead, 1 pilot rescued from the ocean but badly injured. And now Earth knew for certain that hostile aliens were watching them. Seal the base, Hyunwoo ordered. No one enters or leaves without my permission. Get me a direct line to the President and the Defense Council. Colonel Somin began coordinating the investigation. The alien energy weapons had left strange residue on the buildings they hit. Scientists would study the material to learn more about alien technology. Sergeant Hae-jin worked with the technical teams to analyze the radar recordings. Every detail about the alien ship's movement and capabilities would be documented and studied. The energy readings are unlike anything in our databases, reported Dr. Yoonji, the base's chief scientist. This technology is centuries ahead of our current understanding, but Captain Jin Ho noticed something encouraging in the sensor data. General, the alien weapons were not very powerful, he reported. They cut through our buildings, but the energy output was relatively low. A ship that size should carry much stronger weapons if it was designed for combat. This gave Hyunwoo some hope. Maybe the aliens were not as advanced as they seemed, or maybe this was just a scout ship with limited armament. Either way, Earth now knew they were being watched by beings from another world, and those beings had already shown they were willing to kill humans to protect themselves. The war had begun with an accident, but it was still a war. General Hyunwoo knew that more alien ships would come. Next time, Earth would be ready. The news of the failed scout mission reached Commander Vextar while his fleet waited at the edge of the solar system. Scout leader Thexion's report was troubling. The humans had detected his ship despite their cloaking technology. Their aircraft were faster than expected, and they had responded to the attack with surprising organization. Send more scouts, Vextar ordered. I want constant surveillance of their major military installations. We need to understand how they detected our ship. 3 additional scout vessels returned to Earth's orbit. This time they maintained greater distance and used more advanced stealth protocols. The humans would not catch them so easily again. Scout Captain Korveth commanded the new reconnaissance mission. He was more experienced than Thexion and would not make the same mistakes. His orders were to watch and learn, but never to engage human forces directly. Study their communication networks, Korveth told his team. Learn their languages. Monitor their military transmissions. I want to know how they think and how they fight. The aliens positioned their ships above Earth's major continents. They watched military exercises in North America, Europe, and Asia. Everywhere they looked, human forces seemed to be conducting routine training operations. But the exercises looked strange to alien eyes. Human soldiers used the same basic weapons they had carried for decades. Their tanks moved slowly across training grounds. Their aircraft performed simple maneuvers that any alien pilot could easily outfly. They are not improving their capabilities, reported one scout. Every base we observe shows the same level of technology. Their weapons and vehicles appear unchanged since our first surveys. This puzzled the alien commanders. Most civilizations advanced rapidly when they knew they were being watched by superior forces. Humans seemed completely unaware of the threat approaching their world. On Earth, the response to the alien attack was swift but carefully hidden. General Hyunwoo had briefed the world's military leaders about the incident. Every nation agreed to maintain strict secrecy while they prepared their defenses. Major Dong-hyun arrived at the coastal base 3 hours after the attack. He led a special team of scientists and engineers who studied alien technology. Their job was to learn everything possible from the energy residue left by the alien weapons. The molecular structure is completely foreign, reported Dr. Yoonji, as she analyzed samples under a microscope. This energy somehow rearranges matter at the atomic level. It is far more advanced than our current plasma research. But Dr. Yoonji also noticed something encouraging. The alien energy patterns were similar to theoretical designs human scientists had been developing in secret laboratories. We are not as far behind as they might think, she told Major Dong-hyun. Intelligence Officer Sang-woo coordinated with defense networks around the world. Every radar station, satellite, and sensor array was upgraded to detect alien ships. The mysterious energy signatures would not surprise them again. "We are tracking at least 3 alien vessels currently in orbit," Sang-woo reported to General Hyun-woo. "They are maintaining distance but clearly observing our activities." "Let them watch," Hyun-woo replied. "Make sure they see exactly what we want them to see." This was the beginning of the greatest deception in human history. Military leaders around the world agreed to hide their true capabilities from the alien scouts. Every public exercise would show only basic equipment and standard tactics. Admiral Yoon Seo commanded the Pacific Fleet. Her ships carried some of the most advanced weapons on Earth, but the aliens would never see them. During exercises, her vessels used conventional missiles and standard radar systems. The experimental technology remained hidden below deck. "All ships will maintain normal operations," Admiral Yoon Seo ordered. "Use only standard equipment during daylight hours. Schedule all advanced weapons testing for underground facilities." The aliens intercepted human radio communications and were confused by what they heard. Military commanders spoke about classified projects and black site operations. There were references to Protocol 7 and deep storage facilities that made no sense. "They are hiding something," Scout Captain Korveth reported to Commander Vextar. "Their communication suggests they have capabilities we have not observed." "All primitive species try to seem stronger than they are," Vextar replied. "They are probably bluffing to frighten us. Continue surveillance and ignore their propaganda." But some alien scouts were not convinced. The human response to their first attack had been too fast and too coordinated. Most primitive civilizations panicked when faced with superior technology. Humans had reacted like experienced warriors. Scout leader Nixera flew the 3rd reconnaissance ship. She had fought in more wars than any other scout in the fleet. Her instincts told her something was wrong about this mission. "Commander, I request permission to probe their defenses more aggressively," Nixara transmitted to Vextar. "Their behavior does not match their apparent technology level." "Denied," Vexatar replied. "We will not risk another incident. Observe only." So the aliens continued their patient watch from orbit. They recorded human military exercises and counted weapons and vehicles. Everything they saw confirmed their belief that humans were a backward species with primitive technology. Meanwhile, General Hyun-woo convened secret meetings with military leaders from around the world. They gathered in hidden bunkers deep underground where alien sensors could not detect them. "How long can we maintain this deception?" asked Defense Minister Taeho during one such meeting. "As long as necessary," Hyun-woo replied. "Every day we keep them guessing is another day to prepare our real defenses." Colonel So-min had been analyzing the alien ship's movement patterns. "They are good at staying hidden, but they follow predictable routes. We can track them even when we cannot see them." Captain Jinho had upgraded the space monitoring systems with new detection algorithms. "The aliens do not know we can track their energy signatures. We are learning more about their technology every day." Human scientists worked around the clock to understand alien capabilities. The energy residue from the attack provided valuable information about their weapons technology. Research teams in secret laboratories began developing countermeasures. "Their energy weapons operate on principles we understand," Dr. Yoonji reported to Major Dong-hyun. "We can build shields that will deflect this type of attack." "How long will that take?" Dong-hyun asked. 6 months for basic protection, 2 years for full coverage of major installations." The aliens had no idea that human scientists were already working to neutralize their main advantage. They continued their surveillance, confident that they understood human capabilities completely. But the humans were learning too. Every time an alien scout ship passed overhead, sensitive instruments recorded its energy signature. Computer systems analyzed the data and built detailed profiles of alien technology. "They are not as advanced as they want us to believe," Intelligence Officer Sang-woo reported. "Their ships are fast and well hidden, but they show signs of age and limited resources." This intelligence was crucial for human war planners. The aliens might be more advanced, but they were not invincible. Human forces could compete if they used their advantages wisely. Admiral Yoon Seo received new orders to prepare her fleet for possible combat. "All ships will undergo modification to hidden weapon systems," she announced to her commanders. "The aliens must not learn about our true capabilities until it is too late." Captain Jae-min had recovered from his injuries and returned to duty. He now led a special squadron trained to fight alien aircraft. His pilots practiced new tactics in underground flight simulators where alien scouts could not observe them. Their ships are fast, but they are not designed for combat, Jamin told his pilots. They rely on stealth and superior technology. If we can force them into a real fight, we have a chance. The game of hidden observation continued for weeks. Aliens watched humans while humans watched the aliens watching them. Both sides gathered intelligence while trying to keep their own secrets safe. But the balance would not last forever. Soon, one side would make a move that would force the other to reveal their true strength. The question was which side would blink first. Commander Vextar grew impatient with the slow pace of intelligence gathering. His scouts had been watching Earth for 3 weeks. They reported the same things every day. Human military forces appeared weak and disorganized. Their weapons were primitive. Their response times were slow. The High Command is demanding results, Vextar announced to his officers. They want proof that this world is ready for conquest. We will conduct a demonstration attack. Scout Captain Korveth felt uneasy about this decision. Sir, our orders were to observe only. A direct attack will reveal our presence to their entire planet. Our presence is already known, Vextar replied. The incident with Thexion's ship made sure of that. Now we must show them the futility of resistance. The target chosen was the Australian Defence Station, a remote human military outpost on the continent's northern coast. Intelligence reports suggested it was lightly defended with only basic weapons and equipment. A small demonstration would be enough to prove human weakness. 6 attack ships will decloak simultaneously, Vextar ordered. Destroy their defensive positions but avoid killing too many humans. We want survivors to spread news of our power. The Valthon attack squadron was led by War Commander Zephrok, a veteran of many successful invasions. His ships carried plasma cannons, energy shields, and advanced targeting systems. Against primitive human defenses, the battle should last only minutes. Deploy in standard formation, Zephrok commanded as his ships approached Earth. Remember, this is a demonstration, not a war. Show restraint. At the Australian Defence Station, Captain Minho was conducting routine morning inspections when alerts began screaming across all communication channels. 6 unidentified objects were descending rapidly toward the base. All hands to battle stations, Minho announced over the loudspeaker. This is not a drill. Unknown aircraft approaching from orbit. But Captain Minho knew these were not aircraft. The energy signatures matched the readings from the coastal incident 3 weeks earlier. The aliens had finally decided to show themselves. Within 30 seconds, 6 Valthon attack ships materialized in the sky above the base. They were sleek and deadly, hovering silently with energy weapons glowing beneath their hulls. The sight should have terrified the human defenders. Instead, something completely unexpected happened. Hidden panels slid open across the base compound. Structures that looked like communication towers suddenly revealed themselves as sophisticated weapon systems. The ground itself seemed to come alive as camouflaged positions emerged from seemingly empty terrain. Orbital Defense Network, this is Australian Base Command, Captain Minho transmitted. We have 6 hostile alien vessels in attack formation. Request immediate support. Support inbound, came the reply. Maintain defensive positions. War Commander Zephrok watched in confusion as the human base transformed before his eyes. What had appeared to be a simple outpost was revealing defensive systems that rival Valthon technology. Sir, they have energy shields, reported one of his pilots. The entire base is protected by a defensive barrier. Impossible, Zephrok replied. Our intelligence said they had only primitive weapons. But the evidence was right in front of him. The human base bristled with energy weapons, particle beam arrays, and shield generators that should not have existed on this backward planet. High above Earth's atmosphere, more surprises awaited the aliens. What they had thought was empty space suddenly filled with human warships. Massive vessels uncloaked around the planet, their hulls gleaming with weapons that made Valthon technology look ancient. Admiral Yun Seo commanded the Pacific Defense Fleet from her flagship, the Soul's Pride. The ship was 3 times larger than any Valthon vessel and carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon. All vessels, implement Protocol 7, Admiral Yun Seo ordered. Let them see what they are really facing. Around the globe, human military installations dropped their disguises. Underground bases opened their blast doors. Orbital platforms that had been hidden behind holographic fields became visible. Underwater cities released fleets of submarines that rose to the surface like metallic whales. The aliens had been watching a carefully orchestrated illusion. The real human military was beyond anything they had imagined. "Commander, we are detecting massive energy readings across the entire planet," Scout Captain Corveth reported to Vextar. "Human ships are appearing everywhere." Our sensor readings must have been wrong, but Vextar was too shocked to respond. Through his viewports, he could see Earth's true defenses revealing themselves: orbital weapons platforms that could crack planets, starships that dwarfed his entire fleet, energy signatures that suggested technology centuries ahead of Velthon science. At the Australian base, War Commander Zephrok tried to salvage his demonstration attack. "All ships fire on the human positions," he ordered. Blue plasma bolts shot from the alien vessels toward the human base. The weapons that had destroyed cities on other worlds struck the energy shields protecting the installation. The shields absorbed the attack completely. Not a single building was damaged. "Is that the best they can do?" asked Lieutenant Yujin, the base's weapons officer. "Our shields did not even register that attack." Captain Minho activated the base's defensive weapons. "Return fire. Disable their ships, but do not destroy them. We want prisoners." Energy beams lanced upward from the base toward the alien ships, but these were not primitive chemical weapons. They were fusion-powered particle accelerators that could cut through any known material. The first beam struck Zephrok's command ship and surgically disabled its engines. The vessel began falling toward the ground, its crew helpless and terrified. The other 5 ships suffered similar fates within seconds. "Impossible," Zephrok whispered as his ship crashed into the ocean. "How do humans have technology superior to ours?" From orbit, Admiral Yunseo watched the brief battle with satisfaction. "Rescue teams recover the alien survivors," she ordered. "Intelligence will want to question them." But the real shock was yet to come. As human rescue ships approached the crashed alien vessels, massive underwater facilities began rising from the ocean floor. Cities that had been hidden beneath the waves for decades revealed themselves to alien sensors. Colonel Yujin commanded one of these underwater bases. Her facility contained research laboratories, manufacturing centers, and weapons testing ranges that had been developing advanced technology in complete secrecy. "Surface all platforms," Yujin ordered. "Let them see what we have been building." Gigantic structures broke through the ocean surface like islands being born. Research stations the size of cities. Manufacturing facilities that could build starships. Weapons platforms that could destroy entire fleets. The aliens in their damaged ships could only watch in horror as Earth's true military capability revealed itself. Everything they thought they knew about human civilization was wrong. Commander Vextar received frantic transmissions from his attack squadron. "Sir, we need immediate evacuation," War Commander Zephrok transmitted from his sinking ship. "Human technology is far beyond our capabilities. We cannot compete with their weapons. How is this possible?" Vextar demanded. "Our intelligence reports showed primitive weapons and chemical propulsion. The humans deceived us, sir. Everything we observed was fake. Their real military could destroy our entire empire." Scout Captain Corveth studied the sensor readings from the battle. The human weapons had disabled 6 Velthon attack ships without causing any fatalities. The precision required for such attacks suggested computer-controlled targeting systems beyond anything the Empire possessed. "Sir, they could have destroyed our ships completely," Corveth reported. "They chose to disable rather than kill. They are showing mercy." This realization terrified Vextar more than any threat could have. Species that possessed overwhelming military power but chose restraint were far more dangerous than simple aggressors. They had wisdom to match their strength. "Order all ships to withdraw beyond the outer planets," Vextar commanded. "We need to reconsider our entire approach to this species." As the alien fleet retreated, General Hyunwoo stood in his command center watching global defense networks coordinate their response. The deception had worked perfectly. The aliens now knew they faced an opponent they could not defeat through force. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the alien command ship," reported Communications Officer Su Young. "They are requesting permission to discuss terms for their crew's return." "Tell them we will consider their request," Hyunwoo replied. "But first they will answer some questions about their intentions." The brief battle had ended with a complete human victory. But more importantly, it had established Earth's position as a force to be respected rather than conquered. The aliens would have to find a new approach if they wanted to deal with humanity. 3 days after the failed attack, War Commander Zephrok and his surviving crew found themselves aboard the human flagship Soul's Pride. They had been rescued from their crashed ships and treated with unexpected kindness. Human medical teams had healed their injuries. Guards provided them with food and comfortable quarters, but the aliens were not prisoners in the way they understood the term. They were guests who could not leave. Admiral Yun Seo escorted the alien commanders to the ship's main briefing room. The chamber was larger than the command deck of a Veilthon battleship. Through massive viewports, the aliens could see Earth's orbital defense network in all its terrifying glory. "Welcome aboard the Soul's Pride," Admiral Yun Seo said through a translation device. "I hope your stay has been comfortable." War Commander Zephrok stared at the human admiral with confusion and fear. Her tone was polite, almost friendly. This was not how conquerors usually treated defeated enemies. "Why have you not killed us?" Zephrok asked. "We attacked your world. Your customs should demand revenge." "Our customs demand justice, not revenge," Admiral Yun Seo replied. "You attacked a military target and killed no one. We disabled your ships without harming your crews." Both sides showed restraint. This answer puzzled the aliens even more. They had expected torture, interrogation, or execution. Instead, they were being treated like diplomats from a rival nation. General Hyunwoo entered the briefing room accompanied by Intelligence Director Kyung Min. Both men wore dress uniforms decorated with medals and rank insignia that meant nothing to alien eyes. But their bearing suggested command authority that transcended species. "Commander Zephrok," General Hyunwoo said formally. "I am General Hyunwoo, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Forces. We need to discuss your presence in our solar system." "You are the leader of your military?" Zephrok asked. "One of them," Hyunwoo replied. "Earth has many nations, each with their own armed forces. We cooperate when facing external threats." This information shocked the alien commander. The humans had multiple military organizations that could work together without central control. Such coordination required incredible discipline and trust. "How many warriors do you command?" Zephrok asked. "Active military personnel number approximately 50 million, Intelligence Director Kyung-min answered casually. "But in times of crisis, we can mobilize additional forces." The number was staggering. The entire Veilthon Empire had only 12 million soldiers spread across 47 conquered worlds. Earth alone had 4 times that number, and they all lived on a single planet. "Your scout reports were incomplete," General Hyunwoo continued. "You observed our training exercises and concluded that we were primitive. We encouraged that conclusion." "You deceived us deliberately," Zephrok said. "We protected ourselves intelligently," Hyunwoo corrected. "When unknown vessels appear in our space conducting surveillance, we assume hostile intent until proven otherwise." Dr. Yoonji joined the meeting carrying a tablet loaded with technical specifications. She had spent days studying the captured alien technology and had troubling news for the aliens. "Your weapons and ships are well designed," Dr. Yoonji told Zephrok, "but they represent technology we mastered 30 years ago. Your plasma weapons are based on principles we use in our manufacturing plants. Your faster-than-light engines are similar to prototypes we tested decades ago." This revelation destroyed the last of Zephrok's confidence. Human technology was not just superior to Veilthon science. It was generations ahead. The Empire had been planning to invade a civilization that could have conquered them instead. "If you are so advanced, why have you not explored beyond your system?" Zephrok asked. "We prefer to perfect our defenses before we expand," General Hyunwoo replied. "Earth is our home. We will not leave it vulnerable while we chase adventures among the stars." Intelligence Director Kyung-min activated a holographic display showing Earth's solar system. Red dots marked the positions of alien ships while blue dots showed human defensive installations. "We have been tracking your fleet since you entered our space," Kyung-min explained. 37 Veilthon vessels are currently hiding behind Jupiter's moons. 6 more are stationed near Saturn. Your command ship is orbiting Neptune. The aliens stared at the display in horror. They thought their positions were secret, but the humans knew exactly where every ship was located. "Your stealth technology is impressive," Admiral Yun Seo admitted. "But we developed detection methods specifically to counter cloaking devices. We have been watching Watchers for a very long time." Captain Min Ho entered the briefing room with additional intelligence reports. His base had been analyzing alien communication intercepts and had disturbing news about the Empire's intentions. Your fleet was sent to prepare for an invasion, Captain Minho stated. Your orders were to identify weak points in our defenses and report back to a larger attack force. How do you know this? Zephrok demanded. We have been monitoring your communications since your first scout arrived, Captain Minho replied. Your encryption methods are adequate but not perfect. The aliens realized that their entire mission had been compromised from the beginning. The humans had known about the invasion plans and had used that knowledge to prepare their defenses. The Valthon Empire controls 47 worlds, Zephrok said desperately. Even if Earth is stronger than we expected, you cannot defeat our full military might. General Hyunwoo smiled grimly. Let me show you something that might change your perspective. The holographic display expanded to show the entire galaxy. Thousands of yellow dots appeared, scattered across hundreds of star systems. These are civilizations we have been monitoring for the past century, Hyunwoo explained. Each dot represents a species that has achieved faster than light travel. We have been watching all of you. The aliens stared at the display in disbelief. The humans had been secretly observing dozens of galactic civilizations, including the mighty Valthon Empire. You have been to our homeworld? Zephrok whispered. Our deep space probes visit every inhabited system regularly, Intelligence Director Kyung-min confirmed. We study your technology, your military capabilities, and your political structures. We know more about the Valthon Empire than your own leaders do. Dr. Yoonji added more troubling information. Your empire is weaker than you believe. Resource shortages on 12 worlds. Military equipment that has not been upgraded in 50 years. Political unrest on your outer colonies. Impossible, Zephrok protested. The empire is strong and unified. Your people are strong, General Hyunwoo agreed, but your leaders have made poor decisions. Expanding too quickly. Conquering worlds without considering the cost of holding them. Your military is spread too thin across too many systems. The alien commanders began to understand the true scope of their miscalculation. They had planned to attack the most militarily advanced civilization in the galaxy, a species that had been secretly studying their enemies for decades while preparing defenses that made invasion impossible. What do you want from us? Zephrok asked finally. Peace. Admiral Yoon Seo replied simply. Trade agreements. Cultural exchange. An end to your empire's expansion through conquest. The High Command will never agree to such terms, Zephrok protested. They will when they understand the alternative, General Hyunwoo said. You will return to your fleet carrying evidence of Earth's capabilities. You will also carry a message from our government. Intelligence Director Kyung-min handed Zephrok a small device containing detailed recordings of human military technology. The information would prove to the Valthon leadership that invasion was impossible. The message is simple, Hyunwoo continued. The galaxy is large enough for all civilizations to coexist peacefully. But any species that chooses war over diplomacy will face consequences they cannot imagine. Are you threatening us? Zephrok asked. We are offering you a choice, Admiral Yoon Seo replied. Join the community of peaceful species, or face isolation from the rest of the galaxy. Captain Minho provided the final revelation. 17 other civilizations observed your attack on our base. They are all aware that Earth defeated your squadron without effort. News of this battle is already spreading across the galaxy. The political implications were devastating for the Valthon Empire. Their reputation as an unstoppable military force was shattered. Other species would no longer fear them. Some might even consider rebellion against imperial rule. Your empire can survive this defeat, General Hyunwoo said, but only if you choose wisdom over pride. Become explorers and traders instead of conquerors. Help other species instead of enslaving them. War Commander Zephrok realized that he was witnessing the end of one era and the beginning of another. The age of galactic empires built through military conquest was over. The humans had proven that such expansion was no longer possible. We will deliver your message, Zephrok promised. But I cannot speak for the High Command's response. You will not need to speak, Dr. Yoonji said. The evidence we are sending will convince them. No rational leader starts a war they cannot win. 3 hours later, Zephrok and his surviving crew were transferred to a human transport ship. The vessel would carry them back to the Valthon fleet, along with proof that Earth was beyond their ability to conquer.